I really, really, really wanted to like this movie. I guess there's just Shazam left. If Shazam flops, I'm done with the DCEU. Happy New Year, guys. Bro Shah back again with another video, and today we're going to be reviewing Aquaman. Now, I'm going to keep this as short and as sweet as possible because there's not much that I can say about this movie. We are going to be talking spoilers because without the spoilers, I can't really shit on it. So, let's get straight into it. So, if you didn't know and you haven't seen it, Aquaman is the story of Arthur Curry, who is the prince and heir to the Atlantis throne. He's half human, half Atlantean. He has a lot of powers to do with the sea and controlling the seas and stuff like that. He can talk to animals. And this was basically an origin story about Arthur Curry and how he became the iconic character that we know today. As usual, I'm going to start off with the things that I did like, because there weren't many. So I did like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I feel like there isn't many people who would be able to play him the way he did. He did a good job. I can't take that away from the guy. He did a good job. The character itself is being made more mainstream, you know, more modern. And I do like the version of Aquaman that there is and that they have today. Because let's be honest, the Aquaman that people know from back in the day and stuff like that, he was a joke. No one really liked him. His powers were dumb. He wasn't really relevant to the Justice League in any sort of way. And he was just a joke character. But I feel like James Wan made Aquaman very, very relevant and very, very modernized. Mira, I loved Mira in this movie. I think like Amber Heard brought a lot of character and a lot of depth to the movie. Her fight scenes were crazy. I wanted to know more about her. Whenever she was on screen, she was funny. She was badass. She was a great character to see. And I feel like it was mostly her and Jason Momoa's movie. I feel like Mira and Aquaman were the perfect protagonists. They weren't overshadowing each other or anything like that. She was just as powerful and as relevant as he was, and he was just as powerful and as relevant as she was. Visually, you already know what I'm going to say. The movie looked amazing. There was a lot of CGI in this. There had to be. If you're going to be upset about the CGI, then you probably shouldn't have watched this movie in the first place. It was underwater a lot. There were creatures from underwater. They had to use a lot of CGI. But the CGI was done great. I loved seeing Atlantis and I loved seeing him underwater. The fight choreography, like the first fight with Queen Atlanna and the soldiers, that set the scene, and I was very hopeful after I saw that fight. The choreography was amazing and I didn't expect that straight away. The music choices were very, very good as well, and props to everybody that was involved on the production because it did make up for some of the film shortcomings. And I'm not gonna lie, but there were a lot of them, like a lot. So the first thing that I'll say that I didn't like about this movie is the fact that it seemed as though they wanted to portray Arthur as like this hero and this person that will come in and save Atlantis and save the human world, the surface world, and he'll be the rightful true heir, and that he'll battle his brother and defend his crown and he'll rule the seven seas. That's not what happened. So the story goes that Queen Atlanna was found by a lighthouse by Arthur Curry's father. He rescued her, nursed her back to health. They fell in love and had a baby. She went back to Atlantis, was tried for betraying the crown or doing some badness. I don't know what. I think it was just leaving. And then she was sent to the trench where she died. After that happened, it appears that Volko, which was King Orm's right-hand man, decided to take it upon himself to go and train Arthur to become stronger in his powers and to eventually take the throne. Now, I don't know if you guys all watch Game of Thrones or not, but from the perspective that I'm looking at it from, that is a usurper. Like, King Orm was Atlanta's second son, but he was her son with the king, so he has a more powerful claim to the throne. He's an illegitimate son. Arthur Curry is basically Jon Snow. He's basically Killmonger. He doesn't have a legitimate claim, but he does have a claim. He just doesn't have a strong one. But no matter how much the movie tried to tell you that he was half human, I wasn't buying it. Because you cannot go and train a person who's never been to your city to be king of that area and expect the people to follow him. So then I watched the movie a little bit more, and obviously you see the fight with him and Orm. And Orm was cool. Orm did some stuff that was a bit questionable. Like when he orchestrated the attack on the other king to further his point of taking over and uniting the Seven Kingdoms. Cool. But that is Atlantis business. That's like Arthur shouldn't be getting involved in that because he wasn't involved in that. Like if they wanted to fight him or whatever, they could have done that themselves. They could have dealt with it internally. That was an internal situation, get me? Apart from wanting to unite his people and go after the surface world for all the crap that they had been doing to them for years, what really did Orm do wrong? Like, please tell me. He had all the power. He was trying to save his people. He finds out that his long lost older brother that got his mum killed because she had him or because she ran away. Don't know. No one knows why she ended up at the lighthouse and why she was there. But because Arthur got his mother killed, he resented him. Fair enough. You could see before that they had the fight, they did have a conversation. And when Arthur was talking about he always wanted to see his little brother and stuff like that, you could tell that Orm was feeling something. Like, he wasn't just stone-faced, you see what I'm saying? Like, it was affecting him, you know what I mean? So, from what I can see and from my perspective, Arthur, an outside entity that has no ties to the crown whatsoever, apart from the fact that he was the mother's son, decided to be trained, well, was trained by Orm's right-hand man to usurp him in the future. Like, it doesn't really make... Why would he be training all his life to take a throne that isn't technically his? It isn't technically... Just because he's the firstborn son, that doesn't mean anything. He was born out of wedlock. He's not even full Atlantean. It didn't really make sense. Now, you could argue that Atlantis are conquerors because Orm was going around trying to conquer each individual kingdom and bring them together. Fair enough, and I understand that. But that doesn't mean you're going to win over the people. The movie itself wanted you to feel like he was a hero and everybody loved him. He didn't really actually even talk to any other Atlanteans. You don't really get to see how they really felt about him as a person. Just him and Orm and him and Mira, him and Volko. Those are the relationships that you did see. I would have liked if they delved a bit more into how Atlanteans are conquerors, and that's how obviously that's how they work. They're like the Dothraki, they're like Klingons, the strongest survive. Because that's what Orm was on. That's what he was on. He was the strongest and he was the one that ruled because he ruled with an iron fist. If that's how Atlantean society is, fair enough. But how they fucked it up is that they made Arthur run away from the battle he had with Orm. He ran away. What king does that? Like, he didn't even... He was losing. He wasn't dead. He wasn't like battered, he was losing. Like, and he decided to run away. Mira came out and helped him. Like, she betrayed her own kind to help him just because she didn't agree with Orm. Those are traitors. That's what a traitor is. If Atlanteans are so big on strength and dominance and stuff like that, which is what the movie was trying to tell me, why would they then follow a king who ran away and couldn't even fight Orm on his own ground? He had to defeat Orm on land. Like, it was disappointing. So best believe I was on Orm's side the whole time. The entire time I was on Orm's side. I was just like, yeah, Arthur is cool and all, but you don't deserve any of this. You don't want it either. You're literally just taking it so that Orm doesn't attack the surface world. You don't really have ties to the surface world either because we didn't really see you do anything with the surface world. So it's like, you really don't belong to each world, but you're trying to save and protect both of them that don't even really know anything about you or care. It was a mess. That stuff with Black Mantis was the same. Like, you tried to make me care about the relationship that he has with his father, even though the moments that they had these scenes were literally after they had murdered innocents. Like, am I supposed to feel sympathy for a guy who's just murdered innocents when his father gets killed in the line of duty? Like, you guys are pirates. You know what the deal is. This is what you're about. This is what your life is about. Are you really going to get that upset that your dad died while you was doing badness? Like, shit happens. Your dad didn't want to stand down. You didn't want to stand down. Shit happens. He didn't have to save you. That was it. You know what I'm saying? The fact that Black Manta survived was bullshit. his reasons for going after Arthur was bullshit, because it's like, you already know you can't face him. Why are you spending so much time and resources trying to kill this man that you clearly are outmatched by? To be honest, if Black Manta was taken out of this movie, I feel like it would make no difference. None. There was no reason for Black Manta to be in this movie. Another thing that pissed me off were the continuity errors. Like, the Aquaman in Justice League is clearly not the Aquaman that we see in this movie. And it's not pissing me off because that's not the case. It's pissing me off because they didn't really make any sort of excuse for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that they have to, but it would have just made the transition a little bit smoother if he didn't seem like he already knew Mira. Do you see what I'm saying? In Justice League, he had met Mira and he was in Atlantis. In Aquaman, he'd never been to Atlantis and never met Mira. Had an Atlantean armor in Justice League. Where did that come from? Nobody knows. Like, it was a bit silly. The underwater stuff where they were talking in bubbles before and now they could actually talk underwater. That made more sense for them to be able to talk freely underwater, but you see what I'm saying? It's like there was no direction. The directors weren't really talking to each other to smooth out these things, these little details that actual fans would pick up on. It's not even like these are little Easter eggs. These are blatant continuity errors. And the jokes, the humor in this was so dead. Oh my God. Nobody in my cinema laughed. Nobody. I can't remember one time that I actually laughed, apart from to laugh at the movie. Like, there was times that me and my friend would literally be like, what the fuck? Like, it was completely over the top. Problems with this movie annoyed me more than the problems that I had with other movies. The other movies were just not great movies. This was like, you had the chance to make a great movie, but no. Yeah, that's all DC is. They're just missed opportunities. That's all DC movies are. They have a great premise, the trailers are great, the music's great, the visuals are great, the choreography is great, the action scenes are great, but everything else in the movie is trash. I can't bother to speak anymore. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. It's lucky it didn't get a 5. I've only watched it once. I'll probably watch it once more just to see how much I really didn't like it. There were some good parts of this movie, which is why it's not a 5 out of 10. But for the most part, I'm disappointed. And if Shazam is going to be shit like this, I have no reason to continue trying to watch a DC movie. I've been warned, and it would literally be insanity for me to keep repeating the same mistake. Anyways, let me know what you thought of the movie down in the comments below. Did you like it? If you liked it, please tell me why. I want to have a conversation. Turn those post notifications on, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and as usual guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Taylor about the fucking flex.